Okay, as always, I'm rocking 3D glasses, that therefore means 3D movie. So Thor The Dark World, or Thor 2, saw in 3D, predominantly because the 2D version was sold out. We didn't feel like spending 2 hours in the mall. Opening sequence pretty much gives you the background story of the Ether, spelled with an A, because it's classier that way, and the story of the Dark Elves, who existed before the birth of the universe, and how they wanted to turn everything into darkness. They then have a massive Lord of the Rings style battle between the Dark Elves and the Asgards, where Odin's father appears and actually does some of the battling as well. Then they go through a small portion where it's Thor helping to quell the rebellion in the 9 realms. Then once that's done, you hit kind of the slow portion of the movie where it's all on Earth. And this, of course, deals with Natalie Portman's character, Kat Denning, Salzgard, and all those people, and all of a sudden it's predominantly a comedy. Once all of a sudden they go to Earth, a lot of it is snappy one-liners and Salzgard not wearing pants or walking around naked. Pretty much what's happening is it's been 5,000 years since the battle with the Dark Elves, and the convergence is coming close. As the convergence happens, all 9 realms line up, and the passageway between them is pretty much gone, so you can hop from one realm to the other. That also means that the Ether is going to be released. Okay? And if you've seen any of the trailers, you know the Ether goes into Jane, the Natalie Portman character. And that then leads Thor to come down to Earth, figure out what's going on, realize that something's happened to her, take her back to Asgard. So Asgard now becomes a huge focal point. But the Dark Elves are aware of the Ether, which then leads to the Dark Elves attacking. So now you have, looks almost kind of like a scene out of the Man of Steel, because you have the Dark Elves and their laser cannons fighting people with swords and shields. But the swords they're using are like light swords. Okay. They do a decent amount when it comes to Loki. As always, Loki steals every scene that he's in. Period. Just flat out. So of course there's the massive battle that happens on Asgard. The fallout from that therefore leads Thor and Loki to try to do battle essentially one-on-one with the, well, two-on-one, against the leader of the Dark Elves and the Dark Elf army. Which then leads, of course, to the battle happening on Earth, during, of course, the convergence, which then leads for your last battle to be, as they're fighting, they can traverse back and forth into different realms. So, epic in scope, definitely. Does it kind of drag on the Earth sequences a lot? Yeah. That's actually my only real big complaint is that. You know, it has this beautiful epic feel, and it's huge and grand in scope. And then it goes to Earth, it's struggling to be almost a comedy. If anything, that's the one detractor. You know, when they're in Asgard, it's all Loki. And he's got the best dialogue. Chris Hemsworth, solid actor. Rene Russo, solid actor. But, I want to say it's like Tom Hiddleston. I probably just butchered his name, sorry. But the dude who plays Loki is just immaculate in this movie. From beginning to his end, beautiful. So this is much better than the first one. I will still say I still prefer Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel embraced a lot more of the epicness and kept it epic. This one went from epic feel to Earth comedy to epic feel to Earth comedy and just got kind of muddled. So, very good movie. You can probably skip it in 3D, with a lot of it being on Earth and things really not being in 3D in Earth. It didn't have that much feel like it really needed to be in 3D. That's all I'm going to say for the spoiler-free portion. I will, of course, go into some of the spoiler portions now. So you got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, you have some character deaths. Rene Russo does get killed. She essentially gets killed by Curse. Which then, of course, leads to Thor pretty much needing to take Loki to essentially exact revenge. Loki dies while he destroys Curse and has this beautiful death monologue. It's just fantastic. And then as the convergence is happening, a guard is going through the realms trying to find out what's going on. He can't find Thor, but instead he finds Loki. When he says that, you'll see his eyes change color. Because it's actually Loki. When Thor comes back after being victorious, he's talking to Odin. It's kind of like, I don't want to be king. You can be king, you can stay on the throne. And as Thor leaves, it's revealed that Loki is currently on the throne. They also have two scenes that take place. One takes place in the middle, which of course deals with the Collector, who will be one of the main villains in Guardians of the Universe. Now, the problem I have with that scene, one, the look that they have for the Collector reminds me of, was it Matungo? The person that Will Ferrell played in Zoolander. He's got the weird sort of mannerisms. He doesn't have the look of an elder who essentially is going out and collecting items. And then giving him the ether. And he makes the comment that the ether is an infinity stone. Now, when he mentions how come the Asgardians don't keep it with them, they mention because they already have a stone. Now, I hate to stand here and say, but a Tesseract is not an infinity stone. The ether is not an infinity stone. This, ironically, is normally considered to be a Beyonder. So a Beyonder was actually at one point in time a living embodiment of a cosmic cube. Not an infinity stone that therefore goes in this gauntlet. So that represents it being your first one. Now, your second one, if you wait through all of the credits, Jane's eating cereal, and then Thor shows up and gives her a kiss. So that's those are your two end credit ones. Ironic, I think they're still trying to capture the Avengers Initiative one they had at the end of the first Iron Man, but all in all, a decent, unique scene, the Collector, and seeing a little bit more of how that feels going to play off and how that actually will work in Guardians of the Galaxy.